Biden instructs the DOJ via the ATF to re-examine its ruling, or previous ruling, on stabilizing braces. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for your NRA certifications and multifaceted gun training. You can call us at 203-300-6343 or visit our website, www.panfirearmsllc.com. There will be a link in the description box below. But let's talk about this. President Biden, April of 2021, instructed the DOJ via the ATF to reclassify arm braces as NFA items. From the Personal Defense website, the Justice Department within 60 days will issue a proposed rule to make clear that when a device marketed as a stabilizing brace effectively turns a pistol into a short-barreled rifle subject to the requirements of the National Firearms Act, said in a White House statement. Now, the fact that the statement from the DOJ specifically states turns a pistol into a short-barreled weapon is very important, and you should keep that in mind as we progress. The precursor to this action was initiated by two distinct historical events. One was the ATF ruling that Q, the manufacturer Q's Honey Badger, Sugar Fix, and Mini Weasel were all which are AR platform pistols, were immediately made into NFA items and were deemed short-barreled rifles, which made owners of the platform in violation of the NFA Act of 1968. Since that moment, Q has filed grievance with the ATF on the classification, but has not had any reply. Now, and the second event, obviously, was the Colorado shooting, where the shooter used an AR pistol with one of these pistol braces attached to it. I hate to be a stickler, but there are 3 million of these things in circulation in the United States, and because of two incidences, we got to just make them impossible to own. As Rahm Emanuel said, never let a tragedy go to waste. Now, let's clarify what a stabilizing brace is. Okay? In layman's terms, a stabilizing brace is an attachment that allows the shooter to attach the firearm to their forearm, which allows for a more stabilized shooting platform. It is an item that is regularly available as an accessory. In 2015, the ATF released a statement that, quote, when shouldered, changes the intended use of the firearm, end quote, but then later changed that ruling to state, quote, a brace does not change the intended use of the firearm, and that the owner misusing the brace isn't part of their ability to regulate it, end quote. But the newest ruling, this 2021, targeting the brace, tends to express the ideal that there is a political pressure is being brought to bear of this new ruling. June 7, 2021, the ATF handed down its ruling claiming that items with the brace attached would be considered short-barreled rifles and now require registration with the National Firearms Registration Act. Republican politicians, 141 to be exact, from both houses, have challenged the ATF ruling, stating that it would make millions of law-abiding people into felons overnight. As I pointed out earlier, the ATF ruling specifically states turns a pistol into a short-barreled rifle. Connecticut, along with New York and New Jersey, sell a platform, which is an AR platform, which is known as an other. The designation of an other via the ATF is a firearm which cannot be classified as neither a rifle nor a pistol based on the ATF's language classifying firearms. The key determining factor, and there are several, I'm not going to get too deeply into them, the key determining factor is the length of the barrel. No shorter than 12 inches and no longer than 18. These have been widely sold across all 3 states. What has piqued my attention to the new ATF ruling, prompting the making of this video, is how these states moving forward will rule on this new definition by the ATF. As I stated, the ATF made it clear that this applies to pistols that have the brace attached to them post-purchase, which means that an AR-style pistol is purchased, then a stabilizing brace is attached as a separate accessory. Others, as we know, are manufactured, inventoried, shipped, and sold under the designation Other. And all are manufactured with a stabilizing brace. But each state that I have mentioned have several things in common, and not all good things. All have a one-party majority rule and are fervently anti-gun, and none of them were vaguely happy when these items were deemed legal to purchase and own. This has led to the rise of the term assault pistol. Much like the designation assault weapon, it is a term invented by the anti-gun establishment to create an aura of fear. Assault weapon is a fallacy. And the only similarities is what they call an assault weapon and what the actual definition of an assault weapon is that the term assault weapon has features of what a true assault weapon actually is. But here, let me put up that definition of what an assault weapon, according to, let me get my password right. Okay, here we go. From the Daily Wire website. As the United States Defense Department's Defense Intelligence Agency book, Small Arms Identification Operation Guide explains, assault rifles are short, compact, selective fire weapons that fire cartridge immediate in power between submachine gun and rifle cartridge. In other words, assault rifles are battlefield rifles which can fire automatically, end quote. Many civilians have purchased semi-automatic only rifles that look like military assault rifles. These civilian rifles are, unlike assault rifles, incapable of automatic fire. Layman's terms, we understand that. There's now the possibility that anti-gun states where local FFL sell others have a foundation using the newest ATF brace rule, and also in bringing in some very colorful language and manipulation, expand the ATF's ruling to include any firearm that uses any arm brace regardless of its designation upon sale or importation, which immediately would start a legal process that has the potential to span years while having millions of people who are in possession of these items in limbo. With the passage of Connecticut's SB 1160, which banned the importation and sale of large swaths of semi-automatic rifles, and those who owned them prior to the law being signed were forced to register them as assault weapons, such a nefarious move with this ATF ruling on arm braces could initiate another mass unconstitutional registration. States that were renowned for being anti-gun have a record of circumventing the voting process when it comes to instituting new policy, specifically to private firearms ownership. Most pointedly, California and New York. And we can definitely look to Massachusetts, where the Attorney General expanded the definition of an assault weapon via executive caveat. Here in Connecticut, we have an Attorney General that throughout his career has been an entrenched politician, serving as a longtime senator, and has constantly pushed for draconian gun laws. Now, as the serving Attorney General, there is a potential for him to abuse that position to follow his counterpart in Massachusetts, in arbitrarily making policy, once again, circumventing established rules. Something to consider. But let me know what you think. In the comment section below, please like, share, and subscribe to get that notification when a new video goes live. As always, any acts of violence or calls for violence will be deleted. Peace.